Hi, we are the Spreadsheet Soldiers, and this is our presentation on a Power BI project for the Jackson's Food Stores data. Um, the purpose of this project was for us to provide an in-depth analysis of Jackson's Food Stores and their alcohol sales specifically from the years 2022 to 2024. We used Power BI, and using this software, we were able to identify areas where we needed growth and also where we were performing really well. Our dashboards allow us to compare total sales, performance across different stores, and overall sales trends in the Jackson's Food Stores across all regions. We were specifically the Northern California region, and so we were able to look at more specifics for that area. For our data and methodology, we use data that came directly from Jackson's Food Stores from the years 2022 to 2024. It includes a variety of different data sets and metrics, which allowed us to do a full in-depth analysis of the company's performance. So this included things like area, region, total sales, and things along those lines. We again use Power BI software to organize this data, to filter it and display it in a way that audiences can comprehend and that we could present it to Jackson's executives and let them know areas that they could be improving on. Our market region, again, was Northern California, and this region specifically accounts for over a third of the total sales across Jackson's throughout the regions, making it a very important region to Jackson's. And as you can see, it's just second in total sales from all of the regions to Southern California.
The first trend that we discovered while we were analyzing Jackson's alcohol data was that wine and liquor sales were performing extremely low compared to the beer sales. We can see that the total sales, beer is leading astronomically, and that in the monthly sales trend, that even in the summer months, beer is still outperforming. And yes, next slide. So why might this fight be happening? We discovered a few potential causes that maybe beer is less expensive on an average compared to wine and liquor, making it a more attractive option for customers. And Jackson's carries more varieties of beer than it does wine and liquor. And so maybe people aren't choosing the wine and liquor at Jackson's, but they really like it for the beer. And the last thing is shelf placement, promotions, and customer demographics. The large beer companies are promoting a lot more. They have more shelf placement, making them just more convenient to go in, and as well as just the customers are demanding beer. As we can see that the top performing markets of total sales, Southern California, Northern California, Washington, and Oregon, they were the top performing states, and we can see that beer is still leading compared to liquor and wine. And the same trend happens for the bottom performing states of Georgia, Nevada, Idaho, and Louisiana, that beer is just the top contender. And for our KPI, for the wine and liquor after promotion, and we can see that it's not meeting its goal, but it stays consistent throughout the years of a negative slope.
Our recommended solution for this first business issue, in order for Jackson's Food Stores to increase their wine and liquor sales, in order to match the beer sales high revenue was something we believe that they can pretty easily complete within 1 to 2 months. And that's through running specialized and targeted promotions, deals, and coupons, and then also a more repositioned shelf placement, as well as expanding product variety for customers. The impact of this is to improve awareness as well as accessibility to the two underperforming categories, which are wine and liquor. And then this leads to an outcome of just a more balanced alcohol sales mix so that beer isn't so much higher and they're able to increase their total revenue through more wine and liquor sales. And as Katie mentioned, our first KPI measures the total proportion of alcohol sales that comes specifically from wine and liquor after these promotional efforts are put into place. And so that calculation was total wine and liquor sales divided by total alcohol sales, and then just multiplying that by 100. So basically, this KPI measures the proportion of total sales that come from wine and liquor relative to beer, and it provides a clear indicator of consumer preference within Jackson's food stores. And it just helps to better understand customer buying behavior and evaluating whether wine and liquor sales are performing like they should be.
The next business issue that we discovered during our research was the dramatic decrease in sales from 2023 to 2024. Sales have decreased by over $60 million, and by the graph, you can see they almost got cut in half totally. So we decided to see what may be the root cause of this dramatic decrease in sales. And the main root cause that we decided on were that people stop consuming as much alcohol because they see it as being unhealthy. Health trends and different demographics see alcohol differently. The younger generation is not as motivated to consume alcohol as the older generations are. And people might be searching for alternatives, or they might be quitting alcohol altogether. And another thing that we found in our research was not only were sales decreasing in Northern California, sales were decreasing in every region, which means that there might be some economic factors at play for this decrease. For example, something like a recession. And if we take a look at the dashboard here, if we look at sales for 2023, sales were about $45 million. And if we look at sales for 2024, they were about $22.83 million. And one thing I wanted to highlight in this graph was if we look at the total loyalty sales for 2023, we can see that total loyalty sales were $1.47 million. And in 2024, while dropping, sales were still $1.3 million for loyalty sales. This indicates that the marketing team and the promotion team is doing quite a good job actually, because despite sales being cut in half, we still marginally lost a few loyalty sales. So we still have loyal customers, which is a good way to start, assuming there is a recession. And when the economy gets back to where it's supposed to be, we'll improve our loyalty sales and our total sales amount. So we have a good base to start with. And if we look at the bottom right, these are our top these are our main performing areas. The Bay Area is our top performer, while the Central Valley is our lowest performer.
Our recommended solution for this second business issue was to launch a recovery strategy in Northern California. And so that would involve including incentives for the more health conscious individuals. And so that would entail Jackson's stocking inventory with healthier alternatives and just making that more available to the growing demographic that wants just those healthier choices. And so that would include seltzers, light beers, and hard kombuchas. Um, the impact of this would help to stabilize and increase Northern California's sales, and the outcome would be a recovery in their sales trajectory, and that would be supported by customer engagement and purchasing frequency.
So the proposed KPI that we had for the second business issue was just to track total yearly sales compared to the prior year so that we can just see like if there's a downward trend. Obviously, sales being cut in half from 2023 to 2024 is a pretty big issue for Jackson's. And so we thought that by tracking how sales are doing compared to the prior year, on track with that, we could have a good idea of whether the healthier alcohol option solution is working or not. So the way that we did this was just doing current year sales minus previous year sales divided by the previous year sales and then multiplying that by 100. And so this will give us our year sales compared to the prior. And we can see obviously we were not on goal for 2024. So then we just have stuff to work towards for the next year. But thank you. That was our presentation on Jackson's Food Stores and our data analysis of their alcoholic sales.